And we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we're just going to go over some headlines around Major League Baseball. So we do have the Tokyo series coming up. We'll talk about Rafael Devers, kind of walking back his comments from earlier this spring training. I almost said this off season. But when spring training opened up, when players reported, and then we'll talk about the Braves as well as, they're looking to get back Spencer Strider and Ronald Acuna at some point this season. But we are getting the Tokyo series, and the Dodgers and the Cubs will be playing exhibition games against, the Japanese teams there. But we will be getting the Cubs and the Dodgers playing against each other, and that'll be, official games for the season. And to start us off, so it starts Tuesday. It's a 2-game series. And you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Shota Imanaga, who was solid for the Cubs last year in his rookie season. He was 15-3 last year with a 2.91 ERA. He was solid. And he's hoping to build off of that. And then, of course, you had Yamamoto last year, who got hurt, only pitched in 18 games in the regular season. He was 7-2 with a 3 ERA. He did get off to a rough start because you remember the international series last year. I think it was, who was it against? Was it against the Padres? I think it was against the Padres, but he was rough in his first career start. But obviously settled in and, of course, pitched well in the postseason, and he's a World Series champ. So that's the first game. But then, Wednesday, you got Roki Sasaki against Justin Steele. So 2 good pitching matchups, and we'll get to see Sasaki up close, how he looks. Now, depending on where you are, if you're on the East Coast, this game starts at 6:10 in the morning. And then if you're on the West Coast, this game will start at 3 in the morning. So, look, I'll be honest. I'm not getting up early to watch the game. Actually, I shouldn't. You know what? I shouldn't say that. Because I think, last year I did wake up early. Or actually, no, I think I happened to be up. And I turned on the game when Yamamoto was pitching. And I was like, wow, he's a rough start for him, but obviously, he turned things around. So, it's exciting. We're going to get some real baseball action before the season starts in 2 weeks. Now, less than 2 weeks. Game start on March 27th. It's coming up. 13 days. And I cannot wait. Even though as a Yankee fan, I am very nervous about this season with all the injuries that have happened, all the injury stuff over the last several weeks, and especially with the kind of the knockout punch with Garrett Cole being out. But actually, so Garrett Cole did undergo Tommy John surgery, and he might be back sooner than expected with what they did with the procedure. They put in, I think, an internal brace, so that kind of speeds up the timetable a little bit. So that's good news on that front. And then also, the Yankees also got a positive update on Giancarlo Stanton. He could be back by Memorial Day with the elbow stuff, but he's also dealing with a chronic calf issue, which makes sense because he really does not run that hard, and but I know that has something to do with it. Some positive news amongst all the craziness if you're a Yankee fan. But I just happen. I'm sorry if you guys are sick of the Yankee talk, but I just wanted to throw that in there because that did happen, and that is a headline. But I wanted to talk about some of the other stuff. So Rafael Devers, if you remember, they signed Alex Bregman, and Devers was asked about, if he was the DH, you have Bregman play third base, whatever. And Devers said, I'm a third baseman. That's what he said. And, obviously this was made into a big deal. Oh, how could he say this? The Red Sox got to deal with this. And Alex Cora did talk to him. And now since then, Devers has, walked it back. And he's expressed openness to being the DH. And look, that doesn't mean that, he's not going to play third base at all this year. But the DH spot is there now to be a flexible spot. You could put anybody there. Now, for the Yankees, that's not the case. But, sorry, I had to bring that up. But that's not the case when it comes to them. But with the Red Sox, you could have Devers DH. Bregman can play third. Now, there's, talk that Bregman could play second base. You could put Devers at third. Devers could also play first base if he has to. But you can move him around a little bit. And, DH, if you want to give him a half day off, you could put him at the DH spot. But, yeah, I figured that when Devers said I'm a third baseman, I'm like, it's not going to last that long. The Red Sox are going to say, look, we brought Bregman in. We want to do a different thing. We want to put him at third at times. You'll play third. I'm guessing he'll. Well, I don't know exactly what was said, but I'm assuming he'll play third at some points during the year. But he's going to DH. And they'll figure it out. So, I knew that was probably going to happen. You kind of figured that was going to happen. Alex Cora talked to him, and I think Alex Cora is more than capable of handling things like this. Now, Devers hasn't played yet. There's some concerns with his shoulder. But Devers said he's feeling good. He's feeling healthy for the season. Because he hasn't played in a game yet. And there was talk about, his timing. He's working on his timing. His swing is not all the way back. So that's, I guess, why he hasn't played. But the Red Sox, they're going to be a problem this year. I think they're going to be a good team. And now with all the, the Yankee stuff, with all the injuries, the Red Sox, they have a chance to win this division. They do. Right now, I think the top three teams, it's the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Orioles. Not in any particular order, but those are the three teams that I see winning the division. I don't know what's going to happen with the Blue Jays. The Rays, they pitch well, but, their lineup is, I think, the bigger concern. Because the Rays are getting Shane McClanahan back. So that's big, getting him back in the rotation. But, the American League East, once again, could be the best division in baseball. Because you could definitely, there's a scenario where you could see all those teams finishing around 500. But we'll see. But the last thing I did want to talk about was the Braves. So Spencer Strider could likely be back in late April. He's set to begin a minor league rehab assignment at the start of the season. So getting him back late April would be big, a big boost for the rotation because obviously, you lost Max Fried, but getting him back would be huge for that rotation. And then for Acuna, you're looking at early to mid-May, him coming back from the torn ACL. And a healthy Braves team is going to be a problem. If everybody can stay healthy, if, Austin Riley and Matt Olson can bounce back from last year, because also some guys had down years last year. If this team is 100% or close to it, they will be a problem. And I would have them winning the National League East if they're healthy. And they were a wild card team last year. They still made it. They ended up getting knocked out by the Padres. But, if you get Acuna back, he's one of the best players in baseball. This is going to be a different looking team. And they're a threat to the Dodgers. National League is good. We talked about it. National League is better than the American League. There's there's better teams in the National League. A lot of these teams you could look at and say, this team can go to the World Series. Now, the problem is the Dodgers are in the National League, and you'll say, well, the Dodgers are going to the World Series. But, when you look at the Braves, I even think the Padres gave the Dodgers a tough time. You look at the Mets. They were in the championship series last year. You had Juan Soto. The Phillies have been there before in recent years. Diamondbacks have been there in recent years. They're good teams in the National League. And the Braves, they won it in 2021, but they want to get back there. And you thought when they had that year a couple years ago, Matt Olson had a big year, and Acuna, of course, won MVP. You thought that they were going to go on a run, and they ended up losing to the Phillies. So, we'll see what happens. But, Braves will be getting reinforcements. Baseball's coming up. And we'll talk about the Tokyo series. Obviously, I will, have to record the game or something. I'm going to have to do something because I'm not, I'll be honest with you, I'm not getting up that early to watch the game. I'll probably just DVR it. But that is next week, and then baseball, and then everybody else starts off the year the following week. So let me know what you guys think about some of the things we talked about. Let me know in the comments. We will be taking our final break of the show now, and then when we come back, we will do a season overview on the Seahawks, and that'll take us right to the end of the show. So for one final time today, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast.